Hey, thanks for taking the time to join us here on Polk Place. I'm Brian Lacey, and it's that time of year. That time of year when I get to use that booming radio voice, tell you all about Thunder on the Ridge. And if we're talking Thunder on the Ridge, it's Haines City Parks and Rec. And who we talk to? That'd be Gerald Richardson. What you got going on, man?
How you doing?
I don't know how I got from Thunder on the Ridge to that'd be Gerald Richardson. I apologize, man.
You got all the voices.
Yeah.
They just all come out. You never know when they're coming.
Somebody came in earlier, and when I introduced him, and I did that, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I need you to take you with me to parties. You could be my hype guy."
I can see that.
Yeah, I do that for Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
Like, everybody, here's Mark Jackson. So how you doing, man?
Good.
Yeah.
Been doing well,
Yeah.
and things are great with the city of Haines City right now.
Listen, I got to thank you for sending our girl, man. Aquatic Center manager.
Yeah.
That was a great interview. She was afraid, but she was a wealth of knowledge, man, and a lot of pride in the job and the things that. And here's what excited me. She told me she's gonna bring in some of the folks from the elder
Senior swim.
water aerobics that she does.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she does. Heidi McEntee, who's our aquatic superintendent, does a phenomenal job overseeing both of our aquatic centers and the programs and keeping our pool up to specs, which is tough sometimes. You put 300 people in a pool, and then making sure your levels with your chlorine and all your other chemical levels, and then you're passing your laws and so forth with the levels, and it's.
And the amazing thing about
job.
it, that pool, both those pools, people aren't just coming from Haines City. You know what I mean? They're
Correct.
coming
Yeah.
from all over Polk County, and some people here on vacation want to experience your main pool. So
yeah, especially with Lake Eva with the slide that we have and the kids pool and everything. It's tough to beat, especially when you come to Polk County. It's as good as get anything in the county when it comes to aquatic center.
Well, when you say it's as good as it gets, we're talking 4th of July and Thunder on the Ridge, and that is as good as it gets. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, always do our event on July 4th. We don't skip around to the weekend before, the weekend after, or any
This
of
year
those.
falls
So
on
we go
Friday, right?
It is Friday.
Yeah.
Yep, Friday, July 4th, 4 to 9. And right there in the wonderful Lake Eva Park, we talk about great things in the county with the band shell and the park right there. In my opinion, maybe a little biased, but as good as it gets for holding events and these type of events with the band shell and the park and the playgrounds that are on each side of the park. You got everything you need. But great day to come out for. Starts at 4 p.m. We got 3 different bands that'll be playing throughout the evening. Obviously, all kind of food vendors and kid zone, beer garden, all types of great family fun for the evening.
When you talk about the band shell in and of itself, you guys have National Touring Act come down a couple years ago from Ocala. Can't remember the name of the band, and they were just blown away at the park, the band shell, and the facilities, the amenities that you had, and the acoustics that you had within that band shell. So it is a jewel in the crown, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Like I say, it was constructed and built, and the things that were thought about were meticulous, and it's fabulous with like I say, the band shell and the way it flows out to the lake and all the amenities that we have around the park. It's as good as it gets.
So obviously, when you get to an event like this, it takes a lot of moving parts, whether it's from your board, whether it's from your city manager, whether it's from your sponsors. Talk about what it takes to put on something like this.
Yeah, it's not easy. Obviously, Jill Latimer, who is our special events supervisor, kind of heads the event and does a great job with her team. But it's far from just her team. It's really our whole Parks and Rec. With our parks guys that are out there helping facility maintenance, getting the power set up. The week prior for the generator and those types of things. And the fireworks crew that comes in and does it there at the end, having everything in place that they need for their operations. And
you guys launched that off the water, right?
Yeah, we do. We were launch it off the water, kind of into the lake, and fabulous show. Once again, maybe biased, but but one of the best fireworks shows in the county, for 4th of July. And I say 4th of July really throughout the whole year.
Listen, man, now I know why you never hook, because you're always patting yourself on the back, and it's physically impossible to break your arm.
Yeah. So, and it's not me. It's not me. It's it's our city and our team, our Parks and Rec staff and crew. It's a team effort for sure.
So what can we expect at this year's event? You got a lineup of bands yet? Has that come into play yet, or?
We're kind of finalizing those bands. Obviously, every year we try to shake it up a little bit, but definitely we'll have a good mixture of variety of music and national anthem that'll be sung by one of the bands that's coming in. She does a great job singing that. But like I say, food, all types of food, from barbecue to your hamburgers to tacos to donuts to ice cream, Japanese,
oh, wow.
You name it when it comes to food, and obviously beer, plenty of beer for all to go around, and like I say, the kids zone, which we kind of like to create to give that area for those families who have the little ones something to do other than sitting there for a couple hours listening to bands, because they could care less about the music playing, but and then wrapping up the evening just right at 9 o'clock, a little after 9 o'clock I should say, with our fireworks show.
Do you still have space for vendors? If so, how do they go about doing it such?
So currently our vendor deadline has passed.
Okay.
We are full, when it comes to vendors currently. I will flip a little bit on that, something that I did leave out, sponsor-wise, definitely have to thank Miracle Toyota. Miracle Toyota has been with us for a number of years and does...
always been the title sponsor.
Yep, has always been the title sponsor and is a huge part of this event and really all of our events within Haines City. They're a fabulous partner, do a great job, great team over there, great family team, I should say, and do a wonderful job serving the customers within not just Haines City, but the county and outside of the county with what they do there at Miracle Toyota.
When you get that many, because I've been down for barbecue competitions, but never 4th of July. I'm guessing 4th of July is a lot bigger.
Oh yeah, it's massive.
What kind of challenges do you have parking wise?
Parking is a little bit of a challenge for those who've obviously been to our events. They're well adverse in regards to, we utilize a lot of street parking. Obviously we have our aquatic center parking lot, which actually we have to block off for this event just due to the fireworks.
Yeah.
The fall zone is obviously too close, but we do have the parking lot that we utilize at the event center, which is not far, from the park. We have, a few small parking lots there by the community center, but a lot of parallel parking along the streets. The side streets are always utilized for parking. So parking is, most venues you'll talk to, there's never enough parking for anything.
Exactly.
But we do the best we can with our parking, and our community is well aware that when we have our events, hey, there's going to be cars lining the streets for the events, and they're a big part of helping that and facilitating that.
Got about 30 seconds left. What I want you to do is inspire the folks at home to come out and join one of the best 4th of July celebrations in Polk County.
Yeah, so like I said, July 4th, event starts at 4, runs 4 to 9, and with a spectacular fireworks show. Can get more information at hainescity.com. Also check out our Facebook page, Haines City Parks and Rec, has all the info on it. We'll have our band info here in the next couple days that'll be posted. And as I mentioned, family fun for everyone, from little ones to seniors, and just a great day to come out and celebrate the freedom.
Always a pleasure getting to see you, and like I said, man, anytime that we can help you promote anything, send your people to see me, man. Always a blast, all right?
Definitely, glad to be here.
Celebrating 27 years, Thunder on the Ridge continues to be Haines City's signature event. Since 1998, residents and people across the county have joined Haines City to celebrate this 4th of July tradition. With the title of Polk County's premier fireworks display, they strive to make this a memorable event. Join them Friday, July 4th at 555 Ledwith Avenue in Haines City from 4 to 9 p.m. The event is free and includes cold beer, food, live entertainment, children's activities, and much, much more. Be sure to bring your family out to help them celebrate America's independence. Need more information? Check them out on the web at hainescity.com or check them out on Facebook at Haines City Parks and Rec. If you enjoyed that episode of Polk Place, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and even check out the next one.